My name is Kelsey Colwell, and my family of five, we live in the Olympia area in Eastern Washington, and we have currently been asked to follow coronavirus protocols. I thought about a video yesterday and immediately was like, I do not want to do that. I don't want all of people's comments directed at my personal story and my personal life. But my whole reason for kind of going, maybe I should share my story, is because some of the things that I've seen in the last week or read are really, they're really impacting me, I guess, kind of in an emotional way. And so I know people are going to have feelings and thoughts, but at the very least, my hope is that by sharing our story, we can just be part of a movement to reduce stigma and to just share what people are going through so that we can all be just a little bit more compassionate and gracious to each other. Well, we're going through something that honestly we don't have enough data to really know how it's going to roll out yet. And so for me, some of the things that we've experienced in the last week living over here in Eastern Washington is obviously no toilet paper on the shelves, and then they're back, and then it's gone, and then it's back, and then it's gone. I've watched some really I couldn't even believe it, comments made to my Asian counterparts in my community, which is super disheartening. And I'll be totally honest, I was shell-shocked. I didn't even say anything. I look back and go, oh my gosh, I should have said this and this, but I was so blown away. I was so just kind of in pause, like, did that really just happen? Did they really just get asked if they were Korean and then treated really poorly after they responded yes? It was heartbreaking to me. And I wasn't my best self in that response because I was just so blown away. I've been reading comments on Facebook from people who are afraid to people who chastise those who are afraid. And to be honest, I've probably been emotionally all of those people in the last week and a half. My emotion and my reason for this video is I'm not an expert on anything, but just to share my emotion, my journey as an individual. I remember a week ago going, what the heck is the big deal? This is so stupid. We're overreacting, right? And then as things continue to progress, I remember having the feelings of, crap, I have 3 kids at home with severe respiratory issues. And what might this look like for us? And man, maybe I should be paying, more attention to my hand washing and not going to work if I'm sick so that I can, be a team player in this whole thing and try to help make sure people aren't feeling, people who are at high risk don't end up getting it because of me. To the things of, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed by everybody's emotion and energy around this, to honestly, I had a moment in Walmart where I went to go buy my kid, honestly, a stool softener. I had a kid who needed a stool softener, and everything in the pharmacy is bought out, and everybody's pushing each other around, and I can't even find stool softener because everything's sold out. And I had a little moment where I kind of teared up in the aisle, and I'm like, what is going on? I felt all the emotions. I think I've felt it all, and I think that's probably normal. I mean, I don't want to qualify myself as, I should be bad for feeling a certain way, but man, I felt it, and it's been a roller coaster ride, and I'm sure it's not over. And yesterday we got the phone call that our kids won't be going back to school until the end of April. Yesterday morning, I have kids with asthma, and asthma's been on the uptick the last week, which is typical for this time of year with allergies. But I noticed the last day or two, my daughter especially, man, she's really sicker than usual. We're using the inhaler all the time. The cough is pretty severe at this point. And I've been in communication with the doctor. I've been on the Department of Health's website. I think those are both amazing things to do. I would encourage anybody to go look at your facts. I've been on Governor Inslee's Twitter feed, and watched all of his press conferences on TVW, and trying to just stay informed and make sure that, you know, we're making the best individual decisions for our family. And after multiple conversations with our doctor, yesterday morning I called, you know, the doctor's like, we're still a little confused too. Try to call the hotline. The hotlines go talk to your primary care provider. Everything's changing so fast. Everybody's still kind of trying to figure it out. We have the most amazing pediatrician. So I just love them. They've earned huge credibility for us and our family and how they've taken care of our kids with major issues. And so we called them again yesterday and said, here's what's going on. And we're not keeping high fevers, but we're popping fevers off and on with our kiddos. And so they said, here's what we want to do. And they scheduled us an appointment in the afternoon, and we were going to call, because I called too. I'm like, I want to make sure it's not strep or something I need an antibiotic for. And but I also want to make sure I'm honoring your protocols for COVID, you know, if for some reason, you know, that's what's going on with us. And so at first they were going to just come out to the parking lot and see my daughter in the car. They ended up, because some of her symptoms were more severe, they ended up asking her to come in the side door, masking her, putting her in a quarantine room. And when, you know, my husband took her, he's the only one in the house not giving any kind of symptoms. And when he called me and said she has pneumonia, I was like, oh crap. This has gone a little farther than I thought at this point. And they're not able to test her for COVID at this point. There's not enough tests, like, just to be realistic. And the tests that we do have, they're really trying to save for those high risk population groups. We're really blessed that kids are handling it well. And so we really are trying to just rest in the fact that our 3 respiratory issued children, they're just going to ride out a virus, and we're going to have to live a little inconveniently for a while. But she's got pneumonia, and then we found out the pharmacy's struggling to fill medications because of the crazy need right now. And so we weren't even sure we were going to get an antibiotic for her yesterday or how long it might take. So yesterday was a crazy day. Things were crazy. I've watched people say really crazy things on the internet. I think we're in a state, and on the east side of Washington, where we're like kind of right in the middle of seeing a lot of it at the moment. I know big decisions are being made. I know those decisions are impacting people in some pretty extreme ways. I know they're impacting, they have financial impacts, right? They have how it's going to impact your job, how it's going to impact people's health, how it's going to impact, you know, childcare, how it's going to impact your kids' education. Like, there's so many potential impacts, and yet you have to trust at some point people are trying to make the best decisions with the data they have. And realistically, we just don't have enough data to really know yet. I haven't seen that yet. I remember a week ago going, what am I missing, right? We're making some pretty big statements and I'm not, so what am I missing? And as I've continued to dig deeper, my personal walk away has just been, wow, the data's just changing every day. A lot of the data is just not, it's missing because we don't have enough tests to even know how many people out there are being affected. What is this really, you know, looking like? And people are feeling emotion, and so they're reacting that way too. I think now being family who honestly is quarantined, we were told we can't confirm if it is COVID. And so we've been asked to follow all the COVID protocols. I have 2 boys. My daughter got diagnosed with pneumonia yesterday. I have 2 boys who are also very high risk for respiratory issues like that. And we may have to take a trip to the doctor early next week to get one of them treated. I have the most amazing friend who's like, do you have masks and gloves? And I said, no, we don't. By the time we were like, maybe we should look in, everything was gone. And she's gonna drop some stuff at my door this weekend so that if we do have to run the boys to the doctor, we can mask and glove up and try to be as smart about it as possible. We've obviously had to use all the disinfectant protocols. One of the things they encourage is putting the sick person in a room and trying to keep the sickness there. Well, there's 4 of us who are sick out of 5. So we made the decision yesterday to try to push the 4 of us to one main space in the house. My husband has been a freaking trooper, and he's ex-military, so he's been Mr. Like, go crazy, clean everything. He's been a workhorse. He's been incredible. You know, plus all the medication treatments that our kids need for their respiratory issues anyway. And just to be honest, you know, it's just really intriguing, everybody's responses. I'm sure I'll get responses from this video. And I'm sure we'll all look back in a year and have probably different feelings and opinions. But I think something I just love for us to encourage is how might what you're getting ready to post on Facebook, or how might what you're getting ready to say make somebody feel? Because people are still more valuable than a virus. And making somebody feel poorly about their ethnicity, or making somebody feel like they don't have faith because they're feeling emotions of fear, or making somebody feel like, honestly, even the other direction. We're a super faith-based family. I have a lot of faith-based friends. I have a lot of non-faith-based friends. And it's interesting watching those two communities interact right now, and it's a little bit heartbreaking, actually. And so it'd be great to watch people have a little more compassion towards each other, to not make the accusations of you're all just being fear reactionary. Have I had moments of feeling a little bit overwhelmed and afraid being in the middle of all this? Yeah, I have. Just to be human and honest, I have. Maybe I've even had reactionary moments in that area. And do I hope we all go, okay, let's prioritize what are the best decisions and try not to be reactionary in these moments? Well, sure, but we're also still human. So attacking each other for being human kind of sucks. And from the other side, people are super frustrated at the faith-based community because of some things they're saying. And I think in general, a lot of us are just being reactionary. And yeah, some people are trying to get headlines, and some people are trying to get Facebook lines for more likes and more posts, and some people are just reacting, and it's rolling into those forefronts. And I just hope we all kind of take a breath and go, how might what I say feel to somebody in a state who's had no issues so far? Or how might what I say feel to somebody in Eastern Washington who's sitting quarantined in their house right now? Or how might what I say feel to somebody who just lost their grandparent to COVID? Or their child? I mean, there are very few deaths in the younger ages, but there are some. And people are hurting. You know, how might what I say feel to the single mom who just got her hours and paycheck cut and her kids can't go to school? You know, how might what I say feel to those people? And we're going to need each other. We're going to need to support each other while still being wise. And we just don't know. We don't know. Like, is this the right call for right now? Honestly, I don't know. But it's the call that's being made. And so it's time to get on board. I can either sit here and whine about it and fight it and throw crap at people for it, or I can just get on board and let's be a team player. And this isn't coming after my individuality. And yeah, this has some huge implications, but you know what? I'm ready to just get on board. And we're lucky we have some savings, and we're already talking about, we have a couple of friends that we know are getting impacted financially. How can we help them? There are other things, like how can we help instead of how can we attack? And I guess this is where I get a little emotional. I'll wash my hands after, I promise. People are so valuable. And I didn't want to put myself out here with this video. I didn't want to hear people's reactions and comments to the fact that my kids and I are now considered COVID quarantine. I didn't want to stand there and watch a young Korean couple get treated the way they got treated. I didn't want to read the comments on Facebook about the spirit of fear and condemning anybody who's being reactionary. I did not want to read the comments about the virus connected to Republicans and Democrats. That was a fun one. I read a comment today about somebody who came from a state to another state potentially brought the virus, and there were party line comments. Oh, they must be a Democrat. Oh, they must be Republican because somebody felt that. I mean, I don't want to read this stuff. I don't want to see this stuff. I don't want to feel this stuff. But with our humanity comes beautiful sides and ugly sides. And let's go embrace the beautiful side, shall we? Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's try to walk it out the best we can. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to screw up. We're all going to say stupid crap. We're maybe not going to wash our hands enough times. I mean, none of us are going to be perfect in this journey. But we can all work to go, yeah, but how could I be a little bit better? How could I interact a little bit better? And oh my gosh, this thing is already 16 minutes, and that was not my anticipation at all. But this is the Caldwell family. We're on day 2 of quarantine. It's been a hilarious journey, and maybe at some point I'll post a video of the funny stuff that's happening in our family as we're stuck in a little space with 3 kids and 2 dogs. But this is life, and life is beyond our control. But what is in our control is how we treat other people. And so I just hope that if anything, this video reduces some stigma, humanizes maybe the situation a little bit, and encourages us all to just go, how do I just be a little bit nicer to the human beings around me?